Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be planning my week. This will include things like goal setting and so on. I will also be doing my 3-month check-in and monthly check-in because I haven't done them yet. Since school is starting back up this week, I will also be planning what schoolwork I'll be doing this week, as well as what other activities I will do. And at the end of this video will be a Q&A where I answer the questions that you guys asked me last week. So let's get started. So all of this is going to be done in my Design Your Best Life journal, which is from Girl Gotta Change. So this is the journal that I showed you guys that I bought last week. So there's like a habit tracker, the 3-month check-in, then like monthly layout, and then the monthly check-in, and then little weekly things. So I need to do all that stuff at the start, like the monthly and 3-monthly stuff, as well as my little plan for this week. And then I will also be using this study planner to plan my schoolwork. So this is from Kiki K, and it's part of their Malala Fund stuff. But so there's like a little monthly spread, and then they also have little weekly ones. So let's get started with my 3-month check-in. Now that that is done, let's get started on my schoolwork plan for this week. So I haven't actually worked out where I'm up to with my schoolwork, so I won't be planning very much my schoolwork in this video. It's just, this bit will just be short just this time. But later in the week, in my next video probably, you'll see the rest of the week's plan, and every week after this you'll see a full week plan instead of just one day. But anyways, let's get started. Now that that is all done, it's time for the Q&A. So these are questions that I asked you to ask me last week on YouTube and on my Instagram story. So let's get started. What's the first thing you did when you got home? Probably come in my room, pat my puppies. I don't really remember, to be honest. I was like really excited. I was probably a bit overexcited, really. How are you at the moment? At the moment, I'm pretty good. I'm starting to feel better. I had to get my NG tube back in because I wasn't eating enough, but I am starting to get the right amount of nutrition and starting to feel better and less nauseous. Do you have any hobbies, and how do you like to spend your time? So I like fitness and that kind of stuff. So I like working out and planning workouts and that kind of thing. And I'm also a cheerleader. I love cheerleading and coaching and yeah. But I can't do those things at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to work back up to doing them soon. But yeah. So at the moment I've been doing more like crafts and stuff. Like I like to do diamond paintings. I like drawing on my iPad. And I'm trying to read a bit more. I do like reading, it's just I either get like too into it and am not doing anything else, or I don't read at all. So I need to find a nice in between and hopefully stay there. Have you chosen your Make-A-Wish? I have not, but I've got a booklet now which is meant to help me pick my wish. So hopefully I can pick it soon so we can start making steps to do that. Are you finding that your mood is lifting now that you're home? It definitely is better now that I'm home, but there are like other stresses now that I'm home. Like with the eating, we were a bit worried about how much I was eating before leaving the hospital, and then when we got home I felt even more stressed about it because my mum's getting stressed because she doesn't think I'm eating enough, and then she's stressing me out, and then there's some breakdowns because like I didn't have an appetite. I didn't feel like eating anything, so it was really difficult. But the NG feeds help a lot, so it's good that I got the tube back in. But other than like that was really the only issue last week. But other than that, I've been a lot happier at home. What advice would you give a newly diagnosed cancer patient? Never expect it to be over. You're always going to have cancer as a part of your life now. Whether it's because you have scans or just because of the trauma you have been through, it's always going to be a part of your life. And that is really something you just have to accept. But there's ways of coping, like making friends who have cancer as well, and talking to a therapist or something. But don't think that your life is just going to go back to the way it was, because it won't. And it's really hard after your treatment to get back to a place where you're happy. But you will get there. You do get to a place where you're happy and where cancer is taking up a much less of your mind and stuff. It just takes time, and you need to give yourself that time. When's your next scan? I can't remember. It's about day plus 100. So it's in a couple weeks. I'll try to let you guys know the date later. What are you most looking forward to being out of hospital? Just being home and not in the hospital. Like having my puppies here, my family, getting to eat normal food, not hospital food, and hopefully going on walks and stuff soon once I've built up more energy and stuff. Can you explain the situation with school? Will you have to go back, do the work? ATAR, when can I go back? Okay, so I'm still doing school. I have been the entire time. I've pretty much just like skipped a term of work. I don't have to do this. Well, haven't exactly skipped a term. I only have 3 subjects anyway, which is food and nutrition. So I've skipped a term of this food and nutrition work. I've kind of skipped 3 really. Haven't done the assessment, but that doesn't really matter. It was just a subject I wanted to do, so I was still doing it. What matters is that I finished my diploma of business, my Cert 3 in fitness, and you can't really skip anything in those. But if I finish both of those, then I will have enough QCE points to graduate at the end of the year. And I'm not doing ATAR because I'm not eligible. But pretty much all I have to do to finish is finish my diploma and my Cert 3. But if I do not finish one of those, then I can't graduate this year. So I'd have to repeat the year. So I really don't know what way it's going to go yet because I'm really far behind in the diploma. I know I can definitely finish my Cert 3 this year. But the diploma, I really am not sure about. Hopefully I can finish it. And when can I go back? I can't go back until maybe the end of term 3 or the start of term 4. So I'm going to be missing most of year 12. So part of me kind of wants to repeat next year so I can actually have a senior year, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens because I would like to graduate with my class, not with the younger kids. Plus I'll actually be an adult, so yeah, I don't really want to be going to school when I'm 18. Was your stem cell transplant what you expected? And what about it surprised you? My stem cell transplant did not like I expected at all. It didn't go to plan at all. And even if it did go to plan, I felt worse than I thought I would have. I knew I was going to feel bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. But what about it surprised you? The fact that it didn't go to plan. Like, just me in general, I usually follow like the crowd and like do what everyone else does. Like, I expected my body to do what everyone else does, follow the trend, go with the statistics, but no, my transplant failed, so that really did surprise me, like that, and then how much longer I had to stay and everything. But it was awful. It was not what I expected. And I didn't expect it to be good though. It was just a lot worse than I expected. Do you ever feel like a burden? I think this is a common thing for cancer patients to feel. I used to feel a lot like a burden because I was relying on my parents for money to buy things, and I still am. But like, I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything to earn money for myself, and I felt like I was just taking up money that I hadn't earned and stuff. So sometimes I feel like a burden, but it really depends on my mental state at the time as well though, because that was back when I was like first diagnosed and I was in a really bad place mentally. But at the moment, I don't really feel like a burden. What is your treatment for your future going to be? I should not have any more treatment. As long as I'm cancer free in my next scan, then I won't have any more treatment. but I don't know what it would be if I'm not cancer free. How long are you going to be home for? I should hopefully never have to be admitted again for like cancer treatment. Best and worst experience in the hospital. The best experience is probably like all the people, I guess, like the nurses and the doctors and all the people. They're all really nice and really kind people, and really improved my mood getting visits from the different people because I wasn't allowed any other visitors, so I liked talking with like the occupational therapist, the music therapist, and everyone else. And the nurses were amazing as well, and all the doctors. So that's the best. The worst experience was when I was on Foscarnet. That drug was absolute hell. My body did not tolerate it well at all. That was my worst experience ever. Who was your favourite Harry Potter character? Ginny Weasley. Do you no longer need your NG tube, and have you been able to eat like you used to? So as you can see, I've got it back in because I do need it. I didn't need it, so it like got blocked by a nurse and then we had to take it out, and I didn't need it then for like a week or so, and then because my body started doing what it was meant to do and started producing cells, I started getting nauseous again, and then my appetite started to go, and then I needed it again. But I held out for a couple weeks without the NG tube. Somehow, I don't know, I was struggling to eat so much, but I couldn't eat like I was meant to. I could for like that week where I was like feeling better and didn't need the tube. I could eat as much as I needed to, and I was like basically back to normal. That was fine. It was just after that, when my body started doing what it was meant to do, that's when I started to need it again. And right now I would say I still need it. I still struggle at like breakfast time and sometimes with like eating food, and I still feel hungry even though I'm like full and stuff. So the feeds just help with that kind of thing. Who's your favourite nurse on 11B and 5C? That is a question that I'm not going to answer. I do have favourite nurses, but I don't want to say any names because they are all absolutely amazing humans. They're all angels, and yeah. But I do have favourites, but that's just because I get along with them really well. Like, I get along with all the nurses, it's just these specific ones. I've also had these specific ones more than the others, so. Do you get used to all the cannulas and needles? How do you cope? I do not get needles because I have my, my central line, so I don't have to get needles, and I do not cope with them very well. But what I do is if I need a needle, sometimes I get numbing cream. I usually don't bother because it doesn't really, well, I find it doesn't help. But I stick out my arm and I look away, close my eyes and squeeze my mum's hand. And yeah, that's how I get needles. I really don't like needles. How long can the port stay in you for, and does it hurt? So when I had a port, it was sore, like really sensitive, the area. I think that was kind of because of the location. Usually they're up on your chest around here. Mine was down at my bra line, so it was in a weird spot. But ports are designed to be able to stay inside you for years. And with a central line, I don't know how long they're meant to stay in year 4, but probably less time than a port. And they don't really hurt. Can't really, like, obviously if I went inside hitting it where it goes into my skin, it would hurt a little bit, or tried to yank it out, it would hurt, but it doesn't hurt. What do you want to do when you're older? At the moment, I would like to be a personal trainer and hopefully do like social media, but you never know what you're actually going to end up doing. I did used to want to be a nurse. I just don't think after my BMT I could work in a hospital every day like that. So who knows, maybe in the future I will want to be a nurse again. But I've also wanted to be a dietitian before, but again, to do with working in a hospital, like any area of the hospital I don't think I could really work in. So at the moment I'm just going to work towards becoming a personal trainer, and we'll go with that for now. And in the future I can always change my mind. Was there a certain reason it took so long for you to come home? Because my transplant failed, I had to have a top up, and actually the whole transplant process, like waiting for it to fail and all that kind of stuff. So that all just took a long time, and then I had to wait a couple weeks after the top up because it was like another transplant almost. It's just I didn't have conditioning. So what's been the hardest part of your relapse? All the bad luck I've had so much bad luck since I relapsed. I had 2 lines of chemotherapy fail, then I had my transplant fail, and then I had those like problems as well, like 2 infections, which I didn't really post much about, but I ended up with an infection in my bone marrow, which could be why my transplant failed. And then I got put on this drug which was absolute hell, the foscarnet. So the hardest part of my relapse is just all this bad luck I've had since then. What do you miss most when you're at the hospital? My dogs and my family, and just being at home, and the food. And the last question is, do you have any physical therapy exercises that you were given in the hospital to help build your strength at home? I do, and I can do another video on those, but it's just pretty basic, easy exercises like lifting, different muscles, and that kind of thing. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on my post notifications so you never miss a video. See you guys next time. Bye!